Whenever the internet debates the female gaze, the conversation almost immediately devolves into complaints about how female authors write male characters. The consensus, particularly among male readers and viewers, is that these men lack realism. It's either they are too perfect, too brooding, or too toxically devoted. They don't sound like real men, they don't act like real men, and therefore, women just don't know how to write men. But that argument misses the fundamental mechanics of storytelling. The difference between a male character written by a man and a male character written by a woman isn't about accuracy. It is entirely about perspective. Women do not write men inaccurately. They write what men look like from the outside. For example, look at characters like Edward Cullen from Twilight or Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey. The common criticism here is that they are entirely one-dimensional, defined solely by their obsessive behavior toward the female protagonist. To a typical male viewer, these characters feel completely hollow. They have no hobbies or distinct internal motivations beyond romance, and their actions border on being predatory. But that is because they are written as objects of interpretation. In the real world, women spend an enormous amount of time analyzing male behavior because they have to. A shift in tone or an unprompted act of generosity are data points that they look for to determine if a man is safe, interested, or dangerous. Edward and Christian are extreme fictionalized manifestations of that external observation. This is what a man looks like when you cannot hear his internal monologue, and all you have to judge him by is how he acts when he is around you. They feel unrealistic to men because men are used to experiencing themselves from the inside out. These stories forces us to look at ourselves from the reverse. If male writers tend to write men who are emotionally articulate, even if that emotion is anger, female writers tend to write men who are emotionally indirect. They write characters who say one thing but deeply feel another.
I fought against my better judgment, my family's expectation, the inferiority of your birth, my rank and circumstance, all these things, and I'm willing to put them aside and ask you to end my agony.
I don't understand.
I love you.
When men write themselves, they often justify their actions immediately. We understand exactly why John Wick is shooting 100 people. We understand his grief perfectly because the narrative validates it, as he is expressing himself directly. But when women write men like Darcy or Snape, they employ an arguably more realistic tactic. They show you a man whose emotional landscape is completely disconnected from his verbal communication, forcing the people around them to decipher their actions through observation. That is not bad writing. In many ways, portraying men as emotionally indirect is the most realistic thing a writer can do. The female gaze does not strip away a man's humanity. It strips away his narrative control. It removes the microphone from his inner thoughts and places a camera squarely on his behavior. But this is the core disconnect between the male and female gaze in literature and cinema. A male writer tells you what a man feels, while a female writer shows you what he does and lets you figure it out. So the next time you encounter a male character written by a woman, and he feels completely alien to you, don't immediately dismiss him as a badly written fantasy. Ask yourself the harder question. If a character feels unrealistic to you, is it badly written, or are you just not used to seeing yourself from that perspective?